Hi friends from around the world, how are you? What is about copyright? Is that too theoretical for you, or do you get the idea? Well, copyright, first, you know it is about the author's right, the author of the original work, of the artistic work, whatever it may be, whatever the expression of the artistic work of the idea is. So games, song, music, is it book, is it literature, poetry, sculpture, is it whatever it is, architectural work. So it is about the author, right? Copyright and author, that goes hand in hand. And you know also that you have to look into your home jurisdiction. What is about the copyright? How is it translated into your home jurisdiction? Because it is a kind of territorial, but has some international implications, as I said in the last video. Now, let's go a bit about a practical case. A painter, you're a painter, right? You're making a canvas and you want to sell it, and you sell this painting. And well, what happens with the copyright? Again, look in your home jurisdiction. I will give you here only a general picture, but your home jurisdiction is the one which determines the actual right. Now, you have the copyright, which is in two sections, the copyrights, so the economic rights and the moral right, both linked to the copyright and both linked to the author. The author has these two types of rights. Now, the moral right, whether it is in the contract that the copyright will be transferred or not, remains with the author. That you know as well. So moral right is the author's right and remain there forever, though to say, unless he makes a waiver. Now, the economic rights, you might think, well, I sell a piece and the copyright, the economic rights at least, they will turn to the buyer, which is normally not the case. So unless it is contractually you know, ingrained in the contract, it is being stipulated in the contract, the copyright owner with the sale brings over the copyright to the buyer, which normally is not the case. You go into whatever gallery or whatever painter, whatever you go into, and there is no such contract. So the copyright, my point here is the copyright, the economic rights will not go over. And even if they go over, the moral rights will still remain with the author, so the copyright is shared. So what does that imply in practical terms? Well, it implies that the buyer, although he has the piece of work which is its own, he has limitations. So even for your home jurisdiction is the one who says whether it's true or not. If it is a renowned piece and you destroy it, the moral right, or you cut it into pieces, 4 pieces, that painting, then you may be subject, although it is your piece, you may be subject to the moral rights of the author of that original work. But even so, any economic exploitation of that work will not be possible, because you don't have the economic rights on your side, which is part of the copyright, which remains with the author. So if you want, for example, you have a piece of art, which is a very good and well-renowned piece of art, you have it on your wall and you're very proud of it, and you want, I don't know, you want it on your firm's logo because it is your own work, and well, it may not be possible because there's a copyright infringement on it. So that is one thing I want to tell you. Another would be architectural. So you have a singular building, you're very proud of it, but over time, after 10 years, you think, well, that singular building I live in, I'm not very much satisfied, so I thought it would be that the right way of my living would be that way, and now it's different. So I will I will change the building or the color or I will change the outside of the building. And if you don't have the copyright transferred from the architect to you as a buyer or as the the owner of the building, then you have to ask the copyright owner whether whether he agrees with your aesthetic approach or not. Or you have to pay him although you do not follow his advice, or you have to follow his advice, and then the situation of the building would be different. So these are one thing. And another issue is who is the author of the work. I spoke always about the author of the work, right? The author of the artistic work. So who is the author of the work? So if you're an employee, and the employee works for the employer, the employment firm, and does the creation of a certain design of a toy or whatever. So normally, again, you have to look into the contract, into the jurisdiction of your home country. Then you will see probably that the copyright is with the employer. So it is not that the employee, the creator, the original creator of that design is the owner of the copyright, but it might have gone because it has been on site for the employment, and it is part of the employment contract, and the creativity has been, so to say, sold with your salary, implied sold with your salary to the employer. So that is about the authorship. That is, the business owner should be aware of that. And another issue is the possibility that you have, a multimedia, and that goes now into the neighboring rights. I will come to that in a minute. That we have a performance, a musical, a theater with a song, or a movie. And the movie, let's take a movie, a multimedia movie. You have a movie, and within the movie you have a storyline, you have a character, you have some music, and what the real movie has it today. Maybe the movie may be based on a book or whatever. So what I want you to know is that such a movie would be not one copyright protected. It is copyright protected, but from different angles. So a song is protected as the sequence of music, or it could be a copyright to the lyrics of the song, because it's a kind of poem, it's a part artistic work. The performer, that is a neighboring right, the performer may be subject to a copyright, so the performing of the actor, which is individual creation of that person, that has a copyright, or the photographer, the set into scene, the angles from which the movie has been done as an artistic work, so they have a copyright. There are a lot of copyrights possible with regard to a multimedia which has the different actors, different pieces which are own copyright protected. So my point here is, it is not only one copyright and I have to take care about one copyright. No, it may be a lot of copyrights which may be involved. And once you want to copy, you want to put that movie in a certain manner, incorporated into your corporate narratives, into your business narratives, that will present some difficulties from the copyright angle. Now, this is the copyright. The copyright has also neighboring or related rights. So what is that? I told you before, copyright, you automatically think of authors, right? The creator of the original work. Now, there are some exploiting possibilities where other actors come into play, like the performers. I said before, the performers giving an actor, movie actor, giving life to a certain personality which has been created by, I don't know, a book or whatever. And then it is also a neighboring right. He's not the creator of the original work. The original work is something different, but still he puts some artistic performance into the overall work. So the performer has a neighboring right. The producers as well. The producer giving the money for creating a kind of a complex artistic work, multimedia work, in order to create something a bit different from the original work, or a combination of original works. So performers and producers, they putting resources, organizational resources, financial resources at the disposal of the movie. So they are creating something and they acquire some rights. And broadcasting is the third part of the group of persons who may benefit from neighboring rights of copyright. So it is about the performers, the producers, and the broadcasting organizations, entities, whatever it is, who benefit from the neighboring rights. And what are these neighboring rights which giving them? Well, this is the fixation or the recording. So the recording of a music song, that would be a typical neighboring right, the fixation, and they have then also the reproduction rights of that sequence of pictures they have created, right? So reproduction, fixation, reproduction, and what is it? This is in reality, it is about all these rights which come to the creation of a more complex issue, of the reproduction issue, of the distribution issue, of the publication of and distribution of that complex artistic work. So these are things which you have to take into account: neighboring economic rights, copyright, moral right, and you have the neighboring rights for the performers, the producers, and the broadcasters. Last word on the limitations and exceptions. Well, this is more or less the same thing. The limitations and exceptions are always look into your home jurisdiction, right? But in general terms, these are for news or for scientific research or for universities, for teaching, educational purposes. These are normally the limitations, but in precisely this is being taken care of your home jurisdiction. So always look into your home jurisdiction. I'll give you here only the general picture. And for the duration, this is between 20 and 50 years. Again, it is about your home jurisdiction, where you have to look at into the possibility of what is the rule in your home country. So let me wrap this up for you. We have here the copyright, we have the moral rights and the economic rights. The moral right normally lays with or remains with the author of the work. The author may be an employee, then it is normally being transferred to the employer. So the copyright has the employer, the moral and the economic rights. There may be some artistic work which have a lot of copyrights from the different angle, and you have the neighboring rights, that is for producers, performers and broadcasting. And you have limitations, yes, you have limitations for the one and the other, for the copyrights and for the neighboring rights. And at the end, well, you have the duration, which is very high for the copyright, 70 years after death, and it is a bit less for the neighboring rights, but it is also into your home jurisdiction where you have to look first. Thanks for being with the copyright, a complex issue.